What is up, you guys? I am back. I had about 3 days off. My back has finally straightened up on me a little, so I'm going to try to ride my 3 everyday riders. And yeah, that's about it. I will say that Flatland BMX Freestyle is kind of funny because if you go back over the last 6 years since I've been riding again, the same basic tricks that I'm gonna do right now are basically the same ones. So if you go all the way back, you're gonna see the endo, the squeaker, the funky chicken. I'm not pulling off hardly any of those tricks, but it's funny with Flatland because you practice and practice and practice and practice, and when you finally get the trick, like some of the most amazing tricks are like not even 2 seconds long. So if you've got 15 tricks that you can pull off, okay, so someone walks outside, they say, hey, do some tricks, you know, let me see what you got. So you go do 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 do, and like, you know, 3 minutes later max, let's say you're a master at fucking Flatland, 3 minutes later you've done every technical super trick, unless if you want to do like the Terry Adams upside down, you want to pedal around like or whatever, you can stretch it out. But for the most part, the tricks happen so fast, and once you've seen a guy go like the ballerina spin, amazing, then he goes to do it again, you're kind of less amazed and like, okay, I'm gonna just keep walking down the street and not watch this guy anymore. I saw him last week. So I feel like, you know, it's funny, I come out, I do the tricks, but you're just gonna see the same stuff. Like as a musician, if you have 5 or 10 songs, you could probably stretch that out to 30 to 40 minutes if you want to be a busker or something like that. And people might want to hear, I've had girlfriends want to hear the same songs over and over, but do people want to see the same, oh, hey, Kid Wilson's gonna do a funky chicken, or let's see if Kid Wilson can do a squeaker this video, you know. So it's just stuff I think about. You know, we practice this stuff, but it's really in the end, you know, it's a lot of the same tricks. Like I watch a lot of YouTube guys, like shout out, I think Jamie Rosemer. I'm gonna see, you know, a combination of probably the same tricks that he's been dialing in over and over. Todd Carter, go back 5 years to Todd Carter, or really any of those guys. Go Dave Norrie. I mean, it's kind of just a continuation of evolution of where you began and how you grew, but it's these basic tricks that you just see over and over. Anyway. So I think it's about pulling the same old tricks with good style, with good flow, and putting it all together. I think that's why DMC was so fun to watch. Jesse Puentes, is that his name? Jesse Fuentes, I don't know. Killer flow. Now I will say, with all that being said, what's great about where I'm at, I have so many tricks. If I got out a piece of paper, I have so many tricks that I want to learn from 84, 80, even 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88. So many tricks. So it's really still fun for me, and I can still come out, I think, and make videos if I just pick a new trick. But where I'm at, I guess, physical fitness, I had to get a little stronger. BMX helped me get a little stronger. It helped me kind of take the next step to changing my diet. I'm a little lighter, a little stronger, and I think it's good mental exercise to be persistent, to keep pushing to get a trick. But I think to keep making videos, you know, I can come up with some new stuff. I think I can still progress and hopefully make it worth watching, because it is tough. When I watch Flatland, I get bored with a lot of the new school stuff. So, but I'm gonna try to keep it old school. See, that was totally fresh. I've never done that before ever, so that's what Flatland's fun, is keeping it fresh. All right, the trick is now with my squeaker, I feel like 1, 2, 3, 4, between 5 and 7 squeaks, get as much style, get my body posture, quick, maybe a slow stroke, you know, flow it out. It's all about style and flow, really. So let's see if I can style out a squeaker and pull it out. Like, instead of trying to stretch them as far as I can, let's try to just nail it. Ain't no style in that one. I'm gonna bust my ass on that trick, I know it. So I can't spin because of the vertigo deal, but when I do any type of hop, it's like a physical workout. So even if you're not progressing with tricks, doing the physical actions of like front hops and back hops is like a physical kind of a workout. So, you know, body by Craig or whatever. 20.5. This is a great all-arounder. You can do all the old school tricks and the new. Some of them are a little more difficult than others, you know. If you want to straddle the frame and get to the pegs, or, you know, undertakers and shit. But if you want to go to the pump track, then this thing is going to be better than a little 18.5er. This is a good all-around bike. Shout out to Brett Downs. I feel like this is the Brett Downs Geo. I think he did a heck of a job. I love it. All right, I'm gonna switch bikes. Hang on. All right, let's go a little chrome action. So I want some more thoughts about BMX. Instead of just doing a podcast, I'll just ramble on right here. What else has really changed? When I used to freestyle back in the 80s, and I picked it up in the last 6 years, you know, what's really different? And to be honest with you, not that much has changed, because I got into it at a magical time. So back then, you could order a Haro Sport. Right now, up until recently, when John Bolgen's got S-Can from Haro, you could actually go on and get a Haro Sport or a Haro Master. So nothing really changed. You could even get a Heritage GT Performer. So being able to get those brands that you rode all the way back then, and even still now, the Hutch Trickstar is being re-released. The Red Line by Castan was released. The Hutch, the other Hutch was released. So I think Mongoose, Torker. So back then versus now, has anything changed? No, you have better geo, better quality. It's just as fun, just as exciting, and just as many brands as there ever was. So that really hasn't changed. Now you talk about what brands were back then. We still have Odyssey making most of the good parts. There's newer brands here and there, but as long as you've got Odyssey, you've got HP Panaracers, you've got ODI, a lot of basic stuff that you can still get. Now the brakes, just the same. Dicomp is still around. So not much has changed. Is it still just as good? It's probably just even better. What else has really changed? The big thing that's changed with me is really no one to ride with. Back then in the day, I had tons of friends, and it didn't matter who you were, where you came from, what type of bike you had. It was like, if you were riding down the street and you saw somebody doing tricks in a parking lot, you would pull over, and it was a great community. It was some of the most fun I ever had in my life. So it was, how's it going?
Hey brother, good to see you, man.
You too. And that's what I probably missed the most. But thankfully, you know, it's probably why I talk to the camera. You guys are kind of like the closest I've got, because I know some of you out there do ride, and maybe, yeah, we kind of stick together, but I do miss that. What else? Back then, I always had the special order, because living in Germany and different places, we always didn't have a mom and pop store. So instead of like First Class BMX and Rockville BMX and ordering direct, now we have Flatland Fuel, Pork Chop BMX, Cheap Goods, Powers BMX. There's a lot of really good Planet BMX. So basically there's just different names, but there's still companies out there pumping out the products. So really, if you're into BMX now, not much has changed. You can have the same, you know, you can go and reach out to the pros on Instagram. I can't tell you how many times I've asked a question to somebody, a legit pro, and they'll get back to you and answer you. So it's really great. BMX then versus now, it's just as great as ever. So I hope more and more people will get into BMX and realize that, you know, what you do now is just as fun as it was back then. You really didn't miss it. You didn't miss anything. I mean, yeah, you missed it all starting, don't get me wrong, but it's not too late. Anyway, let's give this 19.5er a run. can't get a little more. Okay, so one thing that's helped me with my, it's a surprisingly easy looking trick, but it's tough. I think once you get that lockdown point, it's no problem, but when I go into the fire hydrant, I felt like my thigh right here, there's a place in the seat. So I just let my thigh kind of sit in the indentation of the seat. I get both my feet level pressure on the pegs. And when I roll into it, I let my my right leg is kind of like a counterweight, and it's just like a flow. And once I get to that critical 3/4 point, yeah, right now I just have to get my leg back around. But I feel like really just keeping steady, pressuring down, and kind of staying connected to the bike as much as I can. I don't know. I may have to take this to the competition. A 2-minute run. I think I've got enough shit to fill a 2-minute run. Okay, I'm gonna twist the bars around so I've got the front brake on this side, front brake, one-handed endo, try to roll back, and I gotta figure out how to get out. Maybe I'll go back to the pegs and try to somehow slide her out. Let me do my funky chicken endo rollback. Cowboy. It's gonna need some practice. I think it's a trick worth practicing. It looks good. What do you guys think? Vote yes or no on a cowboy style.